Hey everyone, welcome back to Talking Sense. I'm Ben. It's been a really long time since I made a video. I think I'm probably not alone in the fact that, it's been a bit of a weird year. But it is what it is. So anyway, I've had a bit more time recently and I've been meaning to get back into making videos. So I thought what better way to do it than to talk about the winter scents, or the cold weather autumn winter scents that I've been wearing recently. If you've been following my channel, you probably know that most of the scents that I tend to wear are those kind of autumn winter kind of scents. I'm not too big into the summer citruses and the big freshies. So this kind of list, yeah, it's a list, I guess, is pretty dark, but it's not all dark. There's some bits and pieces in there, and it's in no particular order either, so there's not like a number one or anything like that. These are just scents that I found myself since the weather's cooled down that I've been reaching for a lot. So let's get going because there's a few. Okay, so let's talk about one of my favourite scents, and as soon as the weather got a bit colder, a bit muggier, I started grabbing this one out. As soon as autumn hit, basically. I mean, let's be real, it's one of my favourite scents, so I tend to wear it all year round anyway. But now I really feel like I can wear it and it suits the time and the mood, and that's Laudano Nero by Tiziani Tirenzi. This one is it's just hugely woody. It's got notes of like cognac, tobacco, amber, wormwood, myrtle, rosemary. In the middle, there's just so many notes. You've got black honey, ash, cedar, slate, iris, sandalwood, oud, labdanum, oak, musk, cashmere, laurels, camphor, incense. It's an absolute car crash of notes. But what I can tell you is don't worry about any of that. This smells like, to me, it smells like walking into an antique shop and all those hard woods, those polished hard antique woods that you get in the antique shops. That's what this smells like. And there's a kind of that crushed velvet, and then it has this ashy, dusty vibe to it that just kind of makes it a little drier, and just gives it a lovely texture. For me, say it smells like if I was to walk into an antique shop and sort of like find some old crushed velvet and dark wood mahogany chair that's from about 150 years ago. That's what this smells like. It's marvelous for this time of year. It's marvelous. It's by far one of my favorite scents. That cognac, you might think it's boozy, like heavily boozy, but it's not really. The tobacco and the booze is definitely there, and it's definitely quite forefront, but it's not anywhere near as like boozy as it might sound with like cognac and stuff like that in the top. So it's got a boozy edge to it, but it's not over the top. For me, this is a woody, sort of ambery, slightly resinous, just beauty. Like for woody scents, this is probably up there with one of my favourites. So yeah, obviously, as soon as this weather came around, I started reaching for that. One of my favourite scents of all time. Okay, so next up is an absolute beast from Francesca Bianchi, and this is A Lover's Tale. Now this one, it is just ginormous. This is such a scent. I've been wearing this, oh my Christ, it's a beast. I've been wearing this quite a bit, but you might not think so, judging on how much it's been used. Well, here's the news, right? You spray this once and you're going to be wearing it for the next week. If this gets on any of your clothes, any sort of anything, it's going to be there forever. If it gets on your skin, it will be there at least 24 hours, and 48, it'll just go forever. Even if you're like, showering, everything, it just lasts forever. It's a beast. If you like beast mode scents, this is definitely gonna prick your ears. Outside of that, say it's gloriously like honey, iris, sort of fruity leather. The fruits in it are not fruity. They're very like ripe, like over ripened, and sort of almost like fermented fruits. And then I would say like the strongest note in this is leather. It's definitely a big leather scent to me. But it has this like soft powderiness with the iris that cools it down and stuff like that. But it's definitely, for me, this big leather, and it's animalic as well. So if you're a bit scared of that, I would say be a little bit careful with this because my gosh, the castoreum in this is just immense. But it smells brilliant. It smells absolutely like this beautiful fiery leather. It's sexy as all hell and absolutely stinks. But for this time of year, it's fantastic. It's very dark, very sexy, very warm, and perfect for, you know, the evenings when it's cold. Wow, what a way to like, the way this like warms you up, but at the same time cools you down with that powdery iris in it. Yeah, fantastic. What absolute beast. I wish I could wear it more often, but I say I don't wear it too much because I feel like it just makes my choice for me for the next week. You end up having to wear it forever, but it's beautiful. So yeah, next one up, Francesca Bianchi, Lover's Tale. Okay, so next one, this one, a bit of an outlier actually. This was a big surprise to me. It was a blind buy that I just kind of took a punt on and ended up absolutely loving it. And I wore this like for like 3 weeks straight at the start of the autumn. Well, maybe not that long, maybe like a good week straight though at the start of the autumn. And that's Musc Immortel by Atelier Dior. Now this is really interesting. So it's got notes of iris, grapefruit and clary sage, vetiver, cypriol, patchouli, and then obviously Immortel musk, and ambret seed as well, which obviously is very musky scent as well. But what does it smell like? Because I don't think that really explains what this smells like, to be honest. You can cut off like 90% of that note listing. To me, this smells like Immortel and musk, and that's it. It's got a very pissy edge to it when you spray it. It gives you that like musky pissiness. But otherwise it's like that mixed with spicy Immortel. And then as time goes on, it kind of calms down, the Immortel drops, and you get a very warm, soft, comfy musk. The pissiness goes, and it just becomes this dense, cloudy musk scent. And it's beautiful, but it's like all musk. It's like, you know, it's like 90% musk. It's just like bam, bam, bam. Like there's no hiding from it. It's really good though. I'd say it was a big surprise for me. I bought it blind buy, bit of a risk. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I just thought, sounds quite good, quite like that. You know, I read I think a couple of reviews on Fragrantica saying it was a bit pissy, which, you know, piqued my interest. And yeah, I have to say, really good. One of the less dark scents, surprisingly. It starts out, I feel, quite dark, but over time it lightens up quite a lot and just becomes this lovely, warm, sort of comfy musk cloud. But yeah, definitely really great straight musk. If you're looking for just a straight musk, this is really, really, really good and well worth a sniff if you can get your hands on it. Plus it just looks cool with the floaty gold flakes in there. But yeah, I mean, if you can get your hands on it, like give it a try if you're looking for a musk scent, because this is great, and for this time of year, perfect. So next we'll stick with the same brand, Atelier Dior again. This one, Lune Feline. Now this, shout out Smurfy Girly who put me onto this. This, in my opinion, is the best vanilla on the market, hands down, no competition. This is such a good vanilla scent. It's a mix of vanilla, cardamom and woods. That's about it. I'm sure the listed notes offer you a lot more, but for me this is vanilla, cardamom, woods, and that's really like the main part of this fragrance, and it's absolutely incredible. The vanilla in this, I don't mind vanillas, I wear them quite a bit, but in this, the vanilla is perfection. It's dark, smoky, warm, rich, doesn't smell juvenile at all, smells incredibly mature for a vanilla scent, and then it has this like fantastic, like absolutely brilliant, fruity, spicy cardamom note. To me, the best cardamom note I've ever smelled in a perfume of all time. Just an absolutely fantastic perfume. It's warm, it's cozy, it's sort of like slight gourmand edge, but retains like a lovely amount of woodiness. So it doesn't go too much into that kind of gourmand category. For this time of year, again, like obviously all of these scents are perfect for this time of year. That's why I'm doing this list. But it's so warm, it's so cozy. This is more like your indoor. It almost feels like a waste to use it, but it feels like it's your indoor scent for this time of year. You know, where you just want to like sort of like cuddle up and sort of watch a film and smell absolutely fucking brilliant whilst you're doing it. this is the one. This is, in my opinion, the best vanilla I've ever smelled in my life. Okay, so next up, slightly more of an obvious one, maybe, I don't know. Amouage Interlude Black Iris. Now, Black Iris, you know, the flanker that got absolutely hammered, or, you know, got quite panned when it came out. I still don't know why. I think it's really good. I think it's really like the original Interlude, which is probably why it got panned, because it wasn't particularly original. But I actually, for my sins, like it more than the original. It's my favourite version of Interlude. It's calmer than Interlude, so if you're not aware of Interlude, it's huge, big, smoky, woody, spicy incense scent, and it's massive. It's, you know, the blue beast. It consumes the entire room when you walk in, and that's what I like about this one. This one keeps it slightly cooler with that iris. That's about it. When you first spray it, the first hour or so, you get an Interlude with just a bit of a kind of cool iris note, just like piercing through it. The only other difference for me compared to the original Interlude is this is much softer, much quieter, and that suits me a little bit more. Saying that, it's still beast mode. This is still going to introduce you to the room, just slightly less so. It's just slightly dialed back, but it's still big, it's still beast mode. I really like it. For this time of year, Interlude should be on everyone's list. It's a no-brainer. Okay, so next, as if this could be a list without my favourite house, Beaufort, London. And I've been wearing a lot of, and I'm really glad to have been able to wear a lot of, because beautiful scent, but I haven't really worn it that much since I got it, because when I got it, it was slightly warmer weather. Via Armis. My God, this is absolute pirate stench. So notes of like tea leaf, black pepper, cardamom, whiskey, incense, opium, birch tobacco and oud. Where do you start? It's smoky, aggressive, smells like the armpit of a dead sailor that's been rotting on a beach. Now that doesn't sound very nice, obviously. Give it 5 minutes and my God, it opens up and becomes absolutely glorious. It smells fantastic. It's boozy, it's smoky, it's dark, 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 dark. By far the darkest scent on this list. If you like dark gothic scents, boom, this is the one. This is the darkest scent that I think I've ever smelled in my life. It smells incensey, smoky, spicy, woody, thick, black, that opium note. Obviously that's a fantasy note, but I get it. In this, it smells thick and tar-like and just like molasses, you know, like really viscous, heavy. It's glorious, and it definitely smells like a pirate's arsehole. You're, you know, absolutely fantastic. And I appreciate. It's hard to kind of get across how good this smells, but describing it at the same time, because you describe it one way and it doesn't sound like it smells good. It smells. You know, it sounds like it should smell horrible, but it doesn't. It smells fantastic. It is so good. This is, yeah, glorious, incredibly artistic, incredibly creative. If you like, I mean, it ticks all the boxes, doesn't it? If you like creative scents, yes, it's got that. If you like dark scents, oh my God, in spades. You know, if you like warm, cozy scents, yes. If you like resinous scents, yes. Smoky scents, like this is like one of the outside of Tonnerre, this is the second smokiest scent I probably own, and that's saying something. It's just beast. You know, I think if you like a certain scent, this deserves to be tried. It's not going to be for everyone, let's be real. But if you like a particular style of scent, or sometimes, even if you sometimes enjoy it, I mean, I don't wear this all the time, so I've been wearing it more recently because of the weather, but I don't wear this a lot. Yeah, if you like it even a fraction of the time, it deserves at least to be tested, because wow, the opening on this will rip your nuts off, and then after that, it's just glorious. It's worth trying, even if you think you might not like it. All right, we'll stick on that like hideously dark theme for just one, a few more minutes, and then I'll give you something light to kind of break it up. But next up, and this I've been wearing a fair bit of since the weather's cooled down, and I will be wearing a lot more once it gets really cold. But this is 4160 Tuesdays, Black Velvet Cafe. Whoa. Now, everything I just said about Viet Armis pretty much can be said about this one as well. Likewise, a Lover's Tale. Whoa. Outside of a Lover's Tale, I don't think I've ever sent that is so just long lasting and big as this. It very much sits alongside a Lover's Tale like that, but this is skankier in a very different way. Whereas a Lover's Tale has got that, whoa. Whereas a Lover's Tale's got that aggressive, animalic sexiness. This one, no. This is just brutally dirty, dark and dank, and it's very woody. It has actually got a quite medicinal note that strikes through it. So it's quite simple, I think. I think it's cedar, tobacco, basically oud, coffee and patchouli. Now the coffee is a bit in the start, because I'm really into I've been I still am hunting the perfect coffee. For me, this isn't a photorealistic coffee bean or whatever, but it definitely suggests thick, black, roasted coffee. When you grind the beans and it's bitter and savage. At the same time, there's huge leather is in it. So it's not listed in the notes, but this is huge leather kind of vibe going on in here. And then a medicinal kind of cleanliness strikes through the middle of that. But it's very dirty. It's very but not dirty in an animalic way. This to me doesn't smell animalic at all. It smells like the floor. It smells like. So it's called Black Velvet Cafe. Okay, maybe if that's the floor. If you're walking on a velvet, a black velvet carpet in a cafe that's been on the carpet for, it's been on the floor for the entire life of the cafe, maybe 20 or 30 years, and there's ground in dirt and cigarette smoke from when you used to be able to smoke indoors, and spilt coffee, and it's really ground in. Again, my descriptions probably don't make these things smell nice, but whoa, when you smell it, this is beautiful. It's savage and dark, but beautiful at the same time. And it's juxtaposed with that medicinal edge very well. It strikes through and keeps it slightly lighter, just enough to kind of so you don't feel like you're suffocating. Really good. Really, really bold. When I bought this off a guy on Facebook, a lovely guy, and he sent it to me. And before I'd even opened the parcel that he sent this through, I could smell it through the bottle, the box that it was in, and the wrapping. It just stinks. Hugely massive. Really, really good. Absolute beast. But really good. Worth checking out. Definitely interesting, definitely dirty and dark. All right, let's lighten it up a little bit. So this one, again, is a huge surprise to me, and it's not something that I would normally even have on this channel, really, I don't think. But do you know what? It cost me a tenner, and I've been wearing it loads. So I can't really ignore it, because this is about, what scents I've been wearing. This is Alexandria Fragrances, Bhurj Khalifa. Now, Alexandria are a clone company. I don't buy them a lot. I've owned a couple, and I would say they're a bit hit and miss. One of them was all right, the other one was absolute crap. So I'm not that fussed about them. Wasn't that fussed, but I heard a few people mention Bhurj Khalifa was really nice. Now, it's a clone of Roger Dove fragrance, Amber Oud. I've never smelt that. Never smelt any Roger Doves. They don't really interest me. They're in my opinion, much too expensive for what they are, and they're very sort of middle of the road scents. I think they're good scents probably, but they're very middle of the road in terms of the actual scents. They just don't really do much for me. But having smelt this, maybe I should change my mind on that, because I really like this, and apparently this is a good clone of it. So I assume that the Roger Dove one smells quite similar. And I'll tell you what, I love this. This is really nice. It's lighter than all of the other scents on this list. I think it's actually still a cold weather fragrance more so. It's really woody, sort of quite floral. There's definitely like a rose note in this that is in my opinion quite strong. There's also a lot of like citrus on the top, so you get this like citrusy rose, and then apparently there's like fig and oud and ambergris and sandalwood and iris, civet, birch, patchouli, musk, saffron, cinnamon, and oak moss. Oak moss is a pretty big player in it. But for me, it's just a lovely woody rose, sort of spicy woody rose and saffron kind of mix. It's really nice. It's classy, really classy, and which is really good. I can't help. I have to admit, it's really good. It's by far the lightest scent on this list, probably, but really good. I say the note listing might not sort of excite you too much. You know, it's a lot going on, but it smells like a scent that maybe you smelled 100 times before, and maybe it is. For me, it's very amber and very woody, and with a rose and spices. But yeah, I think that's probably it. It's not a scent that you maybe is going to surprise you. It's not you're not gonna think, oh wow, this is incredibly creative. I've never smelled anything like this before. But at the same time, I think it's just done really, really well. And yeah, so this one is the Alexandria fragrances clone of Amber Oud, and it's called Bhurj Khalifa. And I really rate it. I have to say it really. Like I say, normally Alexandria don't really do much for me, but this is really good. So that I tried their Lost Cherry one and it was dick, but this is really good. And I've been wearing it a lot. Again, when I got this, I wore it like days straight because I just couldn't get enough. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, had to put it on the list really. Bhurj Khalifa by Alexandria Fragrances. Okay, we're getting near the end now. I've got a couple more to go. This one, I've been wearing this a little bit less than the others, but still finally got a chance to get it out, which is great because I love it. It's Liasons Dangereuses by Kilian. Now this is like a really overripe fruit, like peach and plum, really overripe on that as well. Really sort of like smells like when you walk into a greengrocer's. And then there's like this, it starts out quite feminine, I think, and like you have this like fruity floral. And as time goes on, and it's quite big, and it's definitely like got this like feminine, fruity floral fun vibe, but it's so mature, like for a fruity floral, because the fruits are just so like, say again, like almost fermented, like boozy fruit, and the florals are like rich and sort of quite a little dark, and so it's a fruity floral, but it's not a juvenile one at all. It smells very like mature for that sort of fragrance, and it's great, and that's nice by itself. But then as time goes on, it turns into this like slowly gets like more masculine, but I mean I'd still say it's unisex all the way through, but it loses a lot of that kind of like fruity floral vibe, and it turns into this like woody spicy vanilla with like vetiver and wood and a gentle vanilla underneath, and it keeps a bit of that peach just riding it out all the way through this overripe peach. Really nice. I've heard a lot of people say they don't really like this and they think it smells like expensive shampoo and things like that. Okay, each to their own, but I think this is really nice Kilian fragrance, and it rarely gets talked about. You know, usually when you see by Kilian, you get like Black Phantom, Back to Black, Straight to Heaven. There's a few like big hitters, right? But this one is really under the radar, and I think really good. So if you like fruity florals, you probably haven't smelt one that's quite like this. And if you don't like fruity florals, don't worry, because this is boozy as all hell, and it changes and becomes something much different over time. But I still think, you know, if you don't like fruity florals, it's worth trying because it's very different. So yeah, Liasons Dangereuses by Kilian. Okay, we've got 2 more to go, and they're 2 big ones for this channel. They're 2 of my favourite scents. Of course, I've been wearing them a lot because as soon as the weather gets down, yes. First up, we got Zoologist Moth, which is, you know, I bought this for myself for my birthday. It's a fantastic fragrance, absolutely stinks. It's like honey, nagamortha. To me, it's a big honey scent, actually. I feel like that's like a large part of it. But there's florals in there, there's smoke, there's incense. It's really good. It's a spicy, woody scent. But to me, the real key in this one is that kind of sticky, black, dark honey. And it sort of stays in that middle, keeps it sweet, keeps it absolutely gorgeous. But at the same time, keeps it sort of thick and dark as well. And I think it's excellent. So it has this kind of smoky, kind of dirty edge with that nagamortha and stuff like that. And then it has this like vetiver in there, and say a lot of smoke, a lot of incense. When you first spray it, you get this kind of like quite pungent, kind of like floral edge that's just a bit kind of weird smelling. But that over time, that calms itself and melds in with the honey, and it becomes this big, glorious, sticky honey. And I really like it. It's cozy, it's warm, but it's incredibly dark and quite gothic as well. It's definitely, I would say this isn't a blind buy. Yeah, definitely not. But a really glorious scent, and one of my favourites for this time of year. One of my favourite from Zoologist. And I feel like this harkens back to the old days of Zoologist. I feel like recently I've smelt a bit more of their stuff, and I'm kind of going off the brand pretty quickly. But this one, you know, this to me is the good old days of Zoologist, when things like T-Rex and Moth were kind of, and Bat and stuff like that were really kind of like pushing things a little bit. You know, pushing what can be wearable but stinky and interesting at the same time. Really good, because this is definitely wearable, 100% wearable. Like, you can wear this absolutely fine. That honey is glorious. So yeah, Zoologist Moth, definitely great for this time of year. And it's got a cute little moth on the front. Isn't he a nice guy? I mean, surely it's worth it just for that, isn't it? Okay, last one, and it's the most obvious one, but again, it's a list. Maybe not everyone follows this channel who's watching this. How can I not? Eau Noire by Christian Dior, like my all-time favourite. It's, how can you not, right? I mean, I wear this 24/7. It's 365 days of the year. I don't care, because I just love it. But I mean, in this weather, yes. This is just fantastic. Dior Eau Noire. I mean, it's lavender, coffee, Immortel, spicy. It's fantastic. As a lavender scent, the nicest I've ever smelled. You know, as a coffee scent, you know, it's not super coffee, but there's coffee there in the opening. But as it like dries down, whoa, this is like sexy, classy, powerful, alpha. At the same time, like, it's got this gloriously sweet, feminine, like, fantastic edge to it, and it swings between those two extremes. It's at one time it's like dark, rich, dark, sweet chocolate, and then the next it's spicy and aggressive, and it flips between those two. You've got like these savoury spices from the Immortel, like almost say some people, the people that don't like this sort of pretty much claim it just smells like curry. They're wrong. They're plebs. Don't listen to them. It's fantastic. It's one of the best fragrances ever made, as far as I'm concerned. It has to be on this list. If you can try it, get your hand on a decant, definitely do. A bottle is expensive unless you really, really like it, because it's completely discontinued now. But definitely if you can get a decant, and they are available on eBay and stuff. You know, they're not too price gouged. You can find them at a reasonable price. Definitely worth it. 10 ml will last you forever, because it's just a beast of a scent, and and I feel like it's not something I want to wear a lot of. I've got this great big bottle, but I don't actually find myself reaching it as often as I thought I would, because for me it's kind of a special scent. I like wearing it, like, you know, now and then, and when I do wear it, I really, really appreciate it. But it's excellent, and for this time of year, one of the, if not the best cold winter scents probably of all time. It's a bit bold, isn't it? But it's good. Anyway, that's my list. I hope you found something on here that might be interesting for you. I hope you're well. I'm gonna make some more videos over the coming sort of like weeks and months and stuff. I'm kind of slowly edging my toe back into the water. So yeah, I'll see you again really soon. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.